Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and this is my first official first draft team for Game Week 1 FPL 2023 to 2024 season is finally on its way. The game has been released overnight here in Australia. Obviously, everyone overseas that watches my videos will have all their drafts ready. They'll be doing all of their tinkering, making their changes, picking their players. But remember, it's very early days. We're still 6 weeks until the season, so plenty can happen. Plenty of signings and transfers to be made, and lots of changes can be made. So I'll be bringing you a video every single week. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like this video as well, and get your comments in. Any questions you have for Game Week 1 and beyond, please put them in the comments. Any questions or thoughts about my team as well, let me know in the comments. But look, let's go straight into the team. As usual, £100 million budget. The game hasn't really changed. No changes to chips. 1 hour and a half before kickoff of the first game for the week. For deadline, a transfer every week, that type of stuff. Nothing has changed other than the player prices, which you will see. So let's share the screen now and go straight into my goalkeeper for Game Week 1 for the new season. And I know I'm a Spurs fan. Everyone that watches my content and has watched my videos down the years knows I'm a big Spurs fan. I've gone with an Arsenal goalkeeper. It's Aaron Ramsdale, home to Nottingham Forest, probably the best fixture of any side on the opening day. You've got Arsenal, who finished second. They've made some big signings this summer. Ramsdale really good when it comes to save points in FPL. When he keeps clean sheets, it's always and usually combined with bonus points. So green fixture against Forest at home. You'd expect Arsenal to come out and win this game 2-0, 3-0. And Ramsdale, 5 million, I think it's a really good price. Like, I know everyone says spend 4.5 on your keeper, set and forget. But Ramsdale, for me, if Arsenal have another good season with Declan Rice, shielding that defence in midfield, they could be keeping a lot of clean sheets this season. You could be looking at Ramsdale around £6 million at the end of the season. So he is my number one at the moment. So let's go into the defence. I don't think there'll be too many surprises with a couple of these picks. Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you'd have all seen in my short video, Trent Alexander at 8 million remains a must-have. He plays in that inverted fullback position we're expecting this season under Klopp. He's pretty much a midfielder. He got more points than Kevin De Bruyne in his best scoring season of 210 points a few years ago for Liverpool. Didn't even have his best year last year, and he's still come out with, I think it was 2 goals, 7 assists, some clean sheets in there as well. So he still had a good season. We saw what he can do at the end of that season. Top player, can take free kicks, good on the ball, so he's good for BPS. And he's effectively a midfielder in the way that he plays with his goals and his assists that can pick you up for clean sheet points as well. So for me, Alexander-Arnold, absolute must-have. Then in defence alongside him there, Estupiñán, an absolute hero last season. He stayed pretty good with his price this year. Hasn't really gone up too much more than I kind of, really expected from him. It was a surprise package last year, as were Brighton. But Luton at home at first, you've got to have a Brighton defender in there. And Estupiñán, with his attacking prowess, is probably the most important one there. Unless there's anyone they sign, maybe potentially someone like Colwill, if they get him back on loan, if he drops to, kind of 4 and stays at 4.5 mil, could be really good. But Estupiñán for me. And then on the far side, this one's probably going to surprise a lot of people. It's Wan-Bissaka. And this was a tip from a couple of Man United fans that I know who said Wan-Bissaka may have a high chance of being the starting right back next season. Ended the season well. And the thing you got to remember Wan-Bissaka, and we saw it when he was at Palace, he's very, very good at his duels. He wins the ball really well, which is good for bonus points. He's also good at recovering the ball, which is good for bonus points. And Man United at home to Wolves first game. Probably expect a clean sheet in that one. Wolves were quite blunt last season. Let's see what they do in the pre-season. But for me, Man United defender's good. Might want to pay the extra million for sure, but right now, as you can see at the top there, my bank says £0 in there, so I can't afford him right now. So for now, it's Wan-Bissaka, but again, subject to change. But that is my back three. So let's go into my midfield. and it is a midfield 5. Sorry, it looks like a 4. It's a midfield 5. It looks like a midfield 4. It's a midfield 5. And you just saw a sneak peek of my 2 strikers there as well. But let's go into my midfield 5. I've got actually, I'll tell you the formation, and you can see the formation. It's going to be a 3-5-2. I normally go through that at the end, but for now it's a 3-5-2. But it's very flexible, which you'll see in my full draft. But look, let's start with Luis Diaz. Interesting pick, I think. 7.5 million. What you got to remember with Luis Diaz before his injury last season, he got 19 points at home to Southampton. 19 points on a day that Salah didn't hit. He also got goals against Crystal Palace. On the first day of the season against Fulham, I remember him hitting the crossbar, and he hit the crossbar numerous times until his injury. He was getting big points, more than Salah up until Salah's injury. So at 7.5 million, he is an absolute steal and a good alternative to Salah. And then you've got Mitoma, one of the best players to pick last season. He's gone up to 6.5 this year. Not much more needs to be said about him. Goal scoring threat, might potentially be on pens with McAllister leading, but I know Pascal Gross also likes to take them. But he'll want to get his goal numbers up. He'll want to get more and more goals for Brighton this season. He'll want to improve his goals and assists. And midfielder that's basically a forward in my eyes, the way that he plays, definitely has to be in there. With Luton at home. Then just to the side there, Eze away at Sheffield United. Great goal scoring record against Sheffield United for Palace back when they were in the Championship. And obviously Sheffield United were also in the Premier League a few years ago, And Eze, great end to the season. 6.5 million. Good fixture to start with. Good fixtures after that. Definitely has to be in there for me. I think he's someone that will stay there for the majority of pre-season, especially just because of how sharp he looked at the end of last year. And then my last 2, we got Saka, probably going to be the most highly owned midfielder going into game week 1, home to Forest. It's between him and Ødegaard. A little bit of me swaying towards Ødegaard because I like his goal numbers last year. I like how involved in the game he is. I like how much on the ball Ødegaard is. But I'm not going to take too many early risks. If Saka's ownership's 50% and Ødegaard's is 25%, I'm going Saka. Even if Ødegaard does score in that first game and Saka doesn't, I'm not going to look back, and kick myself. I'm going to be like, look, I'm going with a little bit more template where I can. And then the final one, Rashford, again, 9 million is quite steep in that midfield, you'd think. When you compare 8.5 to Saka, 6.5 to Mitoma. But Rashford's numbers were good in that second half of the season. He's effectively a forward as well, playing as a midfielder, home to Wolves, absolute must-have for game week 1. And as I said before, I've gone a 3-5-2. So there's 2 forwards to show you in my front line. So here's my forwards. No surprises. I'm not even going to talk much about this guy. Haaland, 36 Premier League goals. Ridiculous score last season. Captain's armband, very, very likely. Unless he gets injured in the Community Shield a week before. Doesn't start the season for whatever reason. But away to Burnley first game. Haaland, captain's armband, ownership's probably going to be 99.9%. So he is there. And then my next one, triple up on Arsenal with no Spurs players, does hurt the heart quite a bit. But I've got to look at the way Arsenal played last season. I've got to look at the fixtures they've got in the first 6. I've got to look at this Forest game. Jesus right now at 8 million is looking like a good second option. Look, other ideas are downgrade Jesus, go someone a bit cheaper, put more money in another midfielder, upgrade someone there. That could potentially happen. But right now, this team has got balance. It's a 3-5-2, hits all the right spots. Good triple up on Brighton, good triple up on Arsenal with their fixtures. But on the flip side, early on, if one of those teams doesn't win, you've got a lot of players lumbered into that one club, which isn't always the best. But I think with the template and with the way the game will go, we'll see a lot of those triple ups on those teams. So let's go to my bench and let's see what I've gone with on there. Normally I keep it light on the bench. I'm running out of budget anyway. And I've gone with Areola from West Ham, 4 million goalkeeper. Will he take the number 1 spot? We'll find out in pre-season. Does Fabianski have another year in him? For me, Areola at 4 million, I'm hoping he gets that number 1 spot. Then in defence, 4 million of Bell. And you know what? I'm going to make a live change. I would make Morris my first sub because Morris is a forward. 5.5 million, plenty of goals and assists for Luton in their Championship promotion last year. So he is my first sub. I'm spending a bit of money there on my third striker, but I want to have options on the bench because I don't want to have to play an early wild card, which is out of my control because I could have a bad start. and I might have to use it. And then the other defender I mentioned there, Bell, a 4 million potential starter is what we're hearing from Luton fans. So if there's any Luton fans watching, let me know your thoughts on him. And Bayer as well from Aston Villa seems to be another popular one there at 4 million, making up the numbers. So there you have it. That is my official first draft. I've done this on FPL Team, so thank you very much, FPL Team, for this great tool. I know you get a lot of other content creators who will use, their own graphics and that type of thing. For me, this tool still is absolutely brilliant. It gives you everything you need, and it's a really good planner as it will take you through all of the other game weeks. You can even go as far here as game week 2, and it will take me there, show you their fixtures, and you can see, those Brighton triple ups still look good away at Wolves, Arsenal away at Palace, Liverpool at home there with Trent, and Diaz at home to Bournemouth. So it still looks good. We don't have expected points right now, though, as you can see there on the far side. Forget about that. Let's go back to the final draft of game week 1. It's 3-5-2. Here it is. Final draft. Triple up on Arsenal, triple up on Brighton, double up on Liverpool, double up on Manchester United, Eze, Haaland, West Ham player there with Areola, Bayer from Villa, and a couple of Luton players. Can't wait for this. It is going to change every week. I'll be posting updated videos every week. There's going to be shorts of my favourite picks as well every day. So be sure to stay tuned. So look, let's stop sharing the screen. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please take that 10 seconds just to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done already. I'm FPLMattDay. Looking forward to sharing my journey this season with you all, tips, podcasts, everything I do. I'm going to have plenty of guests this season, plenty of different content and plenty of fun on here. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all in there. I'll leave it there. On to the next one. Good luck with your drafts and good luck with all the changes and transfers you make over the coming weeks. I'm FPLMattDay and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.